Hello, and today I'm going to show you how to build a working Lego claw grabber machine. First, let's take a look at how it works. The entire machine is built on a 6x6 stud base, so it's a really compact minifigure scale design. And as you can see, it's full of prizes and toys inside. We're going to go for the teddy bear in the middle. So we can start by moving the claw grabber towards the front of the machine by turning the dial on the front. And once it's in position, we can spin the dial to close the claw and pick up the teddy bear. Now all that's left to do is to secure our prize. So let's bring it over to the collection area at the back of the machine. And now we can release the claw grip to drop the teddy bear and claim our prize. So how does it actually work? There are two main control knobs at the front of the machine. The first one moves the crane arm backwards and forwards, and the second one operates the grip of the claw grabber itself. This simple but effective combination gives you a surprising amount of movement, which creates a really realistic claw grabber machine effect. And what's cool is it even works with different types of prizes. All you have to do is swap it with a different object when you reload the machine. This is quite possibly the most advanced minifigure scale claw grabber machine ever made, and it was a really fun challenge trying to get everything to fit inside. This is a perfect addition to your Lego arcades, fairgrounds and shopping malls, and it's really fun to experiment with different prizes to see just what the claw machine is able to grab. And it even works with bigger objects like this giant stuffed toy T-Rex. With a bit of patience and skill, we can carefully guide him to the exit, where we can line it up to release the claw grabber and win our prize. This also goes perfectly with my working Lego pinball machine, so make sure to check out the how to build video for that, which will be linked in the description below. For now though, let's get started and take a look at how to build this working Lego claw grabber machine. So here are all of the pieces you're gonna need, and in case you don't have these silver connector pieces, you can always substitute these for a 1x2 bar piece and a rounded 1x2 plate, just assembled in this assembly like this, and that will give you the exact same functionality. We'll begin by building the mechanism, starting with the worm gear assembly, which will use a 1x8 axle with a stopper, along with two worm gears threaded through after a Technic brick, and very important, make sure the worm gears are all lined up so they mesh together, and then secure that in place with another Technic brick, a Technic double bush piece, and finally a small bevel gear to act as a control knob. Next we'll get started on the crane arm, so this will use this half Technic lift arm piece along with two of these 1x2 axles. So the first one will just go through on this side, just to the end, and the second axle, just have it sticking out of the bottom a little bit, roughly about one Lego plate width out on that side. Then on this taller axle, just slide a Lego 8-tooth gear piece, and then on this side you can use this Technic connector, and very important, just make sure that's not clashing with the gear. It should rest just on the top edge of the gear teeth. So we can continue this assembly with a 1x3 axle in the top, and this other Technic connector piece on top of the axle, along with another 1x2 axle at the back. And here we can attach this 1x5 half lift arm, the version with the two axle holes on either end, and we can put this aside for the time being, while we build the claw grabber itself, which will just use these silver connector pieces, along with some 1x1 Lego animal tooth pieces, just on opposite sides, so just thread them into the holes there, and you should end up with a pair of pincer-like claws. So to attach these to the arm, you basically just thread these through the Technic holes, and I'm using these slightly older Lego gear pieces since they actually fit inside the Technic holes and provide a bit of a more secure connection, but you can of course use the newer style gears as well, and then just basically secure them in place with those gears. And for this side, before you attach the gear on this side, you just need to thread this Technic rubber band through there and basically just sandwich that in place so it's not too tight. So something like that is good, maybe a little bit looser. And that should leave you with the 2 gears and the rubber band just hanging there loose on its own at the moment until we attach it to the next part of the structure. So this will use our second 1x8 Technic axle, a Technic brick, and then we can slide that through the rubber band at the back there, and then slide that axle through the light grey Technic piece, just so it's loose like that. And then we can secure that on the other end with another 1x1 Technic brick, another Technic double bush piece, and a second one of these little bevel gears to act as the handle. And again, we can put this aside for the time being, because next up we're going to construct the base of the claw grabber machine, which will use this 4x6 modified plate, a 1x6 plate, and a couple of 1x4 plates on the top and the bottom in the middle. And then we're basically going to create a little channel on the side here using a couple of corner plates with another 1x6 to join them together, and a 1x2 plate to fill in the gap on that side. Then we can take a 1x4 brick and build it up on the right with a couple of 1x3 bricks on either side, and some 1x2 bricks to fill in the gaps over on this side, leaving a 1 stud gap in the middle. Now this is where we can take our worm gear assembly that we built earlier and just slide that into the gap like that. And from here we can secure this with a 1x4 plate at the bottom, and then another 1x2 plate just over on the top here like this. And now this will give us the base to attach this part of the mechanism, the crane arm. So just slide that down so the crane arm's poking through that slot at the bottom there, and then secure that in place with a couple of these Technic 1x1 bricks on the side. And there you go, that is the main portion of the mechanism secured. So you've got that horizontal movement with the worm gears at the bottom, and then you've got the claw grabber itself, which can be operated using this top dial as you saw at the start. So next up we can fill in the gap by building a smaller sub-assembly, including this 1x4 modified brick and 2 of these slope pieces, and that will just fit in on the left side of the claw machine just to cover up the gap between the worm gear. And then we can take our 1x6 plate along with a 1x2 plate and a 1x2 ingot piece and build up this little bit that will go in the middle of the machine using a stud to raise one of the figurines up in the air, just so it looks like they're a bit more all over the place, stacked up in different positions. And then just attach a couple of these micro figures to the top and the bottom there. And we can just build up this back piece with a transparent 1x1 plate and a transparent 1x1 brick over on the back there. And this can be attached just in front of this 1x8 axle, so that will go just next to that crane arm piece. Next we'll build the slope that will guide the prize into the collection area. So this will use a 1x4 plate and a 2x2 plate, along with a 2x2 tile in the middle and a 2x2 slope piece on the end there. Then we can build up this side with this 1x2 inverted bracket, a couple of 1x2 plates on top of that, and a 1x2 tile to smooth that off on the top. And then very important, to make sure that the prize is guided down the slope, just use this 1x2 slope brick on its side like that. And this can quite simply attach over on the left hand side, just over here in the middle of the machine. So now we're almost done. We'll just need to build up some more of the windows using a couple of transparent 1x1 plates on top of the Technic brick on this side, and just a single transparent plate on top of the brick at the front, along with a 1x2 brick and a 1x1 brick just to fill in the gap on this side. Then to assemble the windows, for the front window we'll just need to increase the height by one plate using a couple of these 1x2s in transparent, and then just finish that off with a 1x6 tile. And we can do the same with the other side, except this one doesn't need those extra plates, and a couple of 1x4 tiles in the middle of these big 1x6 window panel pieces. And now a cool technique is to make it seem like there's more prizes inside this claw grabber machine. I'm just using these extra micro figures, and they just slide in into the gap just behind these windows, and you'll see they're a bit loose at the moment, but once you actually secure them in place, they have just enough space so that they don't slide around, and it looks like there's just some extra toys or collectibles just on the sides of the claw machine, so it just makes it look a little bit more colourful. So you can do that with both sides. Over on this other side, I use these two micro figures on opposite ends, since they've got these little bricks just behind them to support them, and it might take a little bit of adjustment to get them in the right position, but once they're in there they should be fairly secure, and unless you really shake the machine around, they're not going to go anywhere. And then to finish that off, take this slightly taller window piece with the two extra plates and clip that in the front, and this shorter window piece just can be attached on the top to leave the cutout for the prize collection at the back. And with that, your working Lego claw machine is complete. So all that's left to do is to reload it and test it out. I hope you enjoyed building it, and if you did, then please give this video a like and let me know what you think of it in the comments. And subscribe to my channel for even more exciting Lego creations. Don't forget to check out my working Lego pinball machine and other working Lego how to build videos. I'll leave a link to the full playlist in the description below. I'll see you guys next time, and thanks for watching.